Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. We are back for a second episode in the same day. With me, the returning Carson Wentz. Still, old habits die hard. Still rocking his newly signed.
Sorry, guys.
Mr. Glass.
Some practice reps in. Never know if Matt's going to go out during the game on Sunday. So
never
I'm
know.
now QB2.
Just playing, guys. That is my man Ryan Shedd out in upstate New York. Window 2. Window 1, rocking his favorite Kardashian shirt, Mr. Idris Salam.
My man.
The troll game never ends, folks.
Never.
He is warming up for Casual Convo, hanging with us for this show. I am your host, Richie. And today is our Week 11 NFL preview. We've got some big divisional matchups this week, as well as a Super Bowl rematch and a Super Bowl contender who finally awoken from a month-long slumber. I'm talking about Shedd's San Francisco 49ers. They put it on Jacksonville last week. We are going to start this up with Thursday Night Football. Got a playoff rematch. The Cincinnati Bengals heading out to Baltimore. Huge implications here. I'm going to let Idris start this up while I bang this out to our socials.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati's in trouble. T. Higgins is not playing, still injured. Cincinnati, I don't know what they were pulling last week, but they just collapsed last week. And the same can be said about Baltimore. You got a game where you're winning. The opposing quarterback, Deshaun Watson, who's going for the season, was injured, and you still let these guys come back. You know, he went 14 for 14 at one stretch of the game, and it's just they just fell apart. That defense looked like they looked last year when they gave us so many leads, 20, 15, 20-point leads, and you blew it. Then you lose on the field. But I'm still going to go Baltimore. I think they still got enough. I think they're going to recover. They were saying how Jim Harbaugh's record on a short week is like 27-11 or something like that.
Yeah, he does have a nice record after the buys.
Yeah, so I see them pulling this out. I think Lamar's going to do what he does. I think he'll get a touchdown or two. He'll probably throw a couple. I think Burrow will do fine, but I don't think he'll do as much as he would because he's missing Higgins, man.
Yeah, Higgins is a big loss. Tyler Boyd has to step up. Other guys got to step up. Shed, you are up. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I believe that Baltimore is going to win this game. They're home. And the John Harbaugh record speaks for itself. But if Cincinnati wants to have a shot at this, I mean, T. Higgins is a big loss. And also, Jamar Chase still isn't 100%. My X factor in this game is if Joe Mixon can get going. Keep Baltimore off the field. I mean, Baltimore's run is phenomenal. And they're definitely going to keep Joe Burrow off the field. Let's put it that way with the way they
No doubt.
So, I mean, I'm expecting a lower scoring game. But if Cincinnati wants to survive, I would suggest getting Joe Mixon going finally and doing your best to kind of mix it up because they're going to be one-dimensional. Baltimore's just going to rush 4 and drop 8 and drop the rest and it'll be game over. So I like Baltimore to win this 24-17.
That's about the score I got.
You kind of took the words out of my mouth, Shed, with saying that your X factor for Cincinnati to win on the road is Joe Mixon. Biggest reason why I like Baltimore here, besides the good points that both of you made, is that I just don't see Baltimore dropping a second consecutive game in as many weeks at home. I really don't. I think they should have won last week. They didn't. And I agree with both of you. I think Cincinnati has a few challenges for real coming into this thing. And for that reason alone, I like the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to go Baltimore 27, Cincinnati 23. I think Cincinnati late in the game attempts to score a touchdown, and it's just not going to happen. I think a few holding penalties, possibly a couple of false starts, put them out of range to really make the comeback, and Baltimore gets back on track. I still think there is a distinct possibility that Baltimore could be on the outside looking in when this is over, but now with the new Deshaun Watson news, it could be Cleveland. This is a very tough division to completely forecast, but we are all in agreement the Baltimore Ravens are going to win this one.
Yeah.
We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Dog Pound. Matching records of 6-3. PJ Walker, guy that Idris admires, to start for the Browns at QB. Deshaun Watson shut down for the season. I know where he could go for possibly some shoulder relief, but maybe it's a little too soon to make that suggestion. All right. Last time these two teams played, Nick Chubb sadly injured, out for the season. Could be career-threatening too. I hope for his sake it is not. I do share Idris's sentiments that he has shared recently on the show that P.J. Walker gives them just as good a chance, if not better, than Deshaun Watson. But after this new news, and after the way Cleveland probably should have lost last week and kind of stole one, I think the Steelers go for the season sweep here, albeit their offense is still very much a work in progress. They struggled to beat so-so Packers team. I'll give the Packers a little mercy. A so-so Packers team. But while I think both defenses are going to show up, I often go to this in 50-50 split games. I trust Mike Tomlin more than many. More than most. Pittsburgh Steelers 23, Cleveland Browns 16. Steelers by a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same thing. I like PJ Walker, but I just don't think they have enough. Even with Deshaun Watson last week, that defense needed to come up at the end with the 2 interceptions. Even though one was a batted ball, still, it was a defense. The defense can keep Pittsburgh off the field, and Pittsburgh doesn't have a great offense anyway, but I'm just saying if they can keep Pittsburgh off the field and do what they do, they can do like the Ravens, the 2000 Ravens did. They can just win the game on defense as long as P.J. Walker don't give the game away.
Right. They do have a caliber defense on a championship level. I give you that.
Yeah, but I'm going with the same squad. I think Pittsburgh, you got Mike Tomlin. Come on, man.
I think they win the turnover battle. I think that's the difference, and I just have that feeling that T.J. Watt is really going to go off. Myles Garrett, I think, has to have that signature kind of game for Cleveland to hold serve at home. But I like the Steelers for the season sweep.
Yeah.
Shed, what are your thoughts here?
I like Cleveland at home.
Okay.
My concern with Pittsburgh, they did just finally establish a run, which we've talked about in previous shows, that Najee Harris, they had no run. Now they added Warren to the mix, and they're doing a lot more running, and Kenny Pickett still isn't getting enough time to throw the ball. And with that defense coming, P.J. Walker isn't going to be any much worse than Deshaun Watson was. He was playing decent football before. And the big thing for me is they just Pittsburgh lost another starter on defense in their linebacking core. Quan Alexander is out for the season.
Yeah.
That's not good, and they lost their previous linebacker a couple weeks ago to the same injury, out for the season. As good as their defense has been all season, eventually this is going to start catching up to them. Unfortunately, they got Cleveland this week at Cleveland. I'll take Cleveland 20-17.
All right, so you are going against us here with Cleveland. I'll be honest with you, with any of these AFC North games this year, especially, no result would shock me. It's been that kind of year with this division. And, similar to the NFC East last year, and some would argue maybe the AFC East, this particular season, without question, the AFC North is the cream of the crop in the NFL. But, there's a lot of games to be decided, man. A lot of stuff that can still go down.
Just when you thought Baltimore was going to run away with the division, they lose.
Reminiscent of last year.
Yeah.
A couple of losses last year that stood out. Letting Miami score 2 touchdowns, I think it was like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Letting the Giants do something similar last year. The Kayvon Strip.
The Giants beat them too, yeah.
Julian Love pick. They had a few of these kind of games that they should have won, and they didn't put people away. Buffalo was another one. They blew a big lead there. So still kind of reminiscent of what happened with the Ravens last year. So we'll see. Really up for grabs, that division.
Yeah.
We've got the re-inspired Las Vegas Raiders heading into South Beach to take on the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are coming off some rest. They had the bye last week. Antonio Pierce, former Giant great, 2-0 against the MetLife teams. He has defeated the Giants and Jets in consecutive weeks. And while I do think the Raiders are playing a little bit of more inspired ball, they're finally playing an offense this week. I look at the teams the Raiders have beaten this year, nothing too impressive. I do think the Raiders will score some points here, but they're not going to score more than Miami. Miami 30, Raiders 20. Miami, I could see possibly struggling early on to get some of that rust off. You might see an uncharacteristic mistake or two from Tua. Game note here to keep an eye on: Devin Achane returning. He's going to be splitting time with Raheem Mostert, which makes their offense even more devastating. Aiden O'Connell, I like the kid. He's going to make a few mistakes, though. Mistakes that will cost them the game. Miami's a better team. Raiders are pretending, but I still am rooting for AP. Dolphins by 10.
Well, you're nice because I don't see. I mean, shouts out to Antonio Pierce. Once a Giant, always a Giant. But they're going to get run. I mean, they beat the Jets and they beat the Giants, two teams that don't have an offense.
No, sir.
And they still, with the Giants, they put up 30. But come on, man. And with the Jets, but you're going against the Dolphins. The Dolphins, and you're getting H.A.M. back?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Him and Most in the backfield, and you still got the Waddler, and you got Hill on the corners. I call him the Waddler. You got those two.
It's such a funny name because he's the furthest thing from waddling. That man is fast as shit.
He's fast as hell. That's what I'm saying. And they went against two teams that can't put points on the board, and they still struggle, really, the offense to beat them.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
I'm going to go 38-17, man. I think they're going to run the Vegas Raiders off the field, man. And they're in Miami, and Miami has had a break.
Yeah. I think that's the only reason why I'm showing them a little mercy is because I could see Miami coming off a little rusty, possibly even a little unmotivated before they're like, okay, let's stop effing around. Let's take care of biz.
Be honest with you, this game is over by halftime. I'm going to say it right now.
Wouldn't shock me. And after some of the trolling from my sister's man, Mr. Charlie Hop, I am okay with the Raiders getting run right now. Sorry, Uncle Randy. I know those are your boys. Charlie just emerged out of nowhere when they whipped our ass. I was like, dude, you haven't been here all year.
Mm-mm. No Raiders fans been here all year.
No, you were a couple of sneezes away from putting that paper bag on your head.
I know only one Raiders fan that stuck with it. Shout out to Peggy Holmes. She watches the show sometimes. The only Raider fan who has been posted every week. Other Raider fans, I didn't hear nothing until they beat the Giants.
I got to give Uncle Randy a shout. He is a lifer.
Yeah.
A true lifer. But, man, don't get that man drunk. He's going to start talking to you about the Tuck rule. Shed, you're up.
And rightfully so. I got Miami beating them 35-10. I mean, I don't think there's much of a shot. Like Idris said, they're just gonna get run right out of the stadium. The high's over. I mean, AP took over and they played some crap teams and they got some good wins. Good for them.
Yeah.
But it's time to come down to reality. I mean, not to be a jerk. I mean, I love Max Crosby. I love Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs. I love the culture's changing over there. At some point, the talent's just going to outmatch you, and Miami has a lot of it, and they can put points up right quick and in a hurry, and they're going to be playing from behind, and Aiden O'Connell's they're going to have to put the ball in his hands, a rookie QB against that Miami team defense. I mean, it's just not – they're going to be one-dimensional. It's over.
I will say this, a fun matchup for people to watch, regardless of how this plays out, will be Devontae Adams against – that will be a fun matchup. Regardless of the fact that Adams doesn't have the quarterback on the same caliber that Tua Tagovailoa is. But, it should be fun nonetheless. Going to hit you with my less notables before we keep it in the AFC East. Oh, very delayed. You can barely see. There we go. Home teams in caps. I got the Washington Commanders defeating our New York Giants 17-13. I've got the Houston Texans by a touchdown over the Cardinals, mainly because I think the Texans are still learning how to win, and it is trap game city after beating the Bengals. The Cowboys, by accident, scoring 45 against the Carolina Panthers. Don't be surprised if two of those touchdowns are on the defensive side of the ball. I got the Lions by 2 touchdowns over the Chicago Bears, and I've got the Seahawks winning against the Rams, but not cruising against the Rams. The Rams did defeat them earlier in the year in Seattle. Matthew Stafford is returning, which gives their offense just enough credibility to keep that game close.
And we keep Carson Wentz another week.
That's correct. Yeah. And that's why we're able to have shit here. He was doing some studying.
If Stafford goes down, That's going to be 24 Rams, 17 Seahawks.
Well, that's of course on the premise. Now, mind you, I'm not betting against you.
That was me.
That's on the premise that you are not playing.
Yeah,
I mean, if you were getting the start, well, this is a different conversation.
I'm flipping the score too.
Yes, sir.
That's
why he's so loose. He's able to drink a few beers. He ain't worried about playing this week.
Bowl grease, baby. Gotta keep it sharp.
Just keep the phone open. With the Giants and Commanders, I'm gonna tell you why I'm going with the Giants.
Oh Christ!
Come on.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm going with the Giants. And it's not a homer thing.
Okay, let's hear
this. If you look back at history, even as late as last year,
we do own this team. I get it.
But Shed just got the call. He's on his way out. Shed just got the call. No matter what's going on with us, we always recover by playing against the Commanders, Redskins, whatever you want to call them. We always recover, for one. Wellington Mara would roll around in his grave if the Redskins, the WTFs, the Commanders beat us. Because like he said, nothing makes him feel better than to watch the Commanders, well, he said the Redskins fans, basically cry.
Well, we love to troll from his position of power as Giant owner. The reason why I give the Giants a puncher's chance is because the Commander O-line is just as bad as the Giant O-line.
Yeah.
The thing is, I trust Sam Howell to move the needle, to get some first downs, to move the ball around, more so than I trust Tommy DeVito and co. for the Giants to pull the upset, which I really don't want, because I am interested in our draft position right now. Saquon's got to get at least 22 touches, and you're going to need somebody to make some plays that just haven't been seen all season, with the exception of the second half in Arizona. I do think that because the Giants' defense, for the most part, is playing decent enough, they'll keep it close.
Yeah, I still think it's a low-scoring game, 17-13 or 16, something like that.
Yeah, I can't see either one of these teams breaking 20, especially after watching the first game.
With the Panthers and the Cowboys team, a game, I'll be honest with you, I think the score is going to be a little closer.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be a little closer. In fact, I'm not going to go that far. I think it's going to be closer.
Well, the Cowboys are going to be in your city this week. So
I think the Cowboys.
You can go out there and spend some time with them.
I'm thinking about driving out. Yeah, I might wear this shirt too.
Hell yeah.
It's an hour away.
Hell yeah.
I might do that. Hell yeah. I think they'll win. I'm pretty sure they're going to win, but that's going to be my upset special. You heard
Christ, Idris.
Get out of town, and I mean it.
He hates them so much.
About the Commanders, though.
Sam, he hates them so much that they blind his vision. He hates them.
Upset. Panthers win.
No, God.
If you want to see the Panthers win this game, go to NFL Classics 1996 NFC Divisional, and you can see Kevin Green and Greg Lloyd bring it to the Cowboys.
By the way, I think the Commanders found their franchise quarterback in Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Most sacked quarterback in the NFL, and that dude's still putting out numbers. And
I like him. He's a good quarterback.
I like him a lot. And, with Terry McLaurin and Gibson and Brian Robinson.
That's another thing. They're running the ball well as a duo right now.
Yeah, and, they got to keep the heat off of Howell. I mean, that poor kid's getting crushed. But, I'm not going to be a homer pick here. But, yeah, the Commanders are going to win that game. Sorry, Chris.
That's all right.
He's good. Sam Howell, most sacked and most passing yards in the league.
Yep.
Insane.
No, the kid can play. If they fortify that O-line in the next couple of years, I do believe that better days are coming to Washington, and maybe another name change. Who knows?
Yeah.
We've got the Jets traveling to upstate New York to take on the Buffalo Bills. Jets won the first matchup on 9/11, the game where Aaron Rodgers snapped his Achilles basically, 4 or 5 plays into the season. It's an emotional win for the Jets. Their defense really showed out and gave Josh Allen a lot of confusing looks. I believe that in this particular matchup here, you might see a lot of the same. I am not confident in Buffalo nor Josh Allen right now, but it's a tough one because I'm also not confident in the Jets offense. I know, and without even questioning it too much, that the Jets' quarterback situation is bad, and that Buffalo's defense is not nearly as good as they were a couple of years ago. I like the road team here. I like the Jets for the season sweep, and I think Buffalo falls under 500, further complicating things for them to get to the playoffs. The Jets would essentially jump Buffalo in the standings, and they will impatiently wait to see if number 8, Aaron Rodgers, returns. I'm going to go New York Jets 20, Buffalo Bills 17.
Remember when the beginning of the season, I said something's going to happen with a certain franchise, and it happened the next day.
Yeah.
All right. That same source. You know how they kept saying how Woody Johnson and everyone's making Salah play? What's his name?
Zach.
Yeah. Y'all hearing it first. You're going to hear it eventually, but you're hearing it first here on the Richie Hicks Jr. Sport podcast before Stephen A. Smith. My inside source, who's an inside source, says that's the reason why Wilson is playing. It's not Salah. Salah does not want Wilson.
It's up top.
Yeah, Salah does not want Wilson in the game.
I mean, do you think it's right that this guy's going to be sitting on the bench next week when he could be playing Buffalo? He don't even have to travel that far.
He does not want to pay. He didn't want to play Wilson going back to week 4.
No, Wilson is trash, bro.
You heard it here first. Now, if it come out tomorrow or Friday, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sportscast broke the news first. Ownership and management does not want to bench Zach Wilson for any reason. That's why Robert Saleh hasn't made a coaching change, no matter at what point of the game it is. Even when they're blown out, it's the reason why they keep him in the game.
Gentlemen, keep talking. I will be right back. I'm going to leave out and come back in. These banners are acting up. Idris, Shed, be right back.
All right. Good. But yeah, I'm going to go with I think the Jets are going to pull it out because Buffalo's in shambles, man. They fired the OC Ken Dorsey, which I think he was the fall guy. You know, it goes beyond him. I mean, he can only do what he can do in terms of playing, play calling. They got to execute. Yeah. And if you look at the quarterback play, it's been the quarterback making the dumb mistake. It's not the coach saying, throw it to this guy, fumble the ball. Josh Allen, I always said Josh Allen is Daniel Jones with better coaching and better talent around him. When he came out of Wyoming, him and Daniel Jones were the same type of quarterback. Low completion percentage, high turnover rate. In fact, in Josh Allen's final season, he was hurt most of the season. So I don't know how he jumped so high in the draft. He missed like 4 or 5 games. He came back for the bowl game or 2 games for the bowl game. That's why I never understand how his stock was so high, because he can run, he's strong, and he has a big arm. But he's Daniel Jones with better coaching and better players around him. And I'm going to keep saying that. But the Jets.
What you got for a score, Idris?
I'm going to go 2017 Jets.
All right. Well, I like the Bills at home. We see time and time again of teams.
I meant Bills. I'm sorry. My bad. I meant Bills.
Oh, you like the Bills? Okay. So I like the Bills as well. I said it in the beginning of the season, even during our preview show, I expect the Bills to regress, and they have. Mm-hmm. And I've been preaching it since I've been on the show with you guys. Josh Allen is a good quarterback. Everybody it's smoke and mirrors. It's because they're still winning. People have been ignoring, especially where I live, and it's a lot of Bills fans. Josh Allen's God. Josh Allen this. Josh Allen this. Yeah. I mean, they're calling him by his first name when they're watching him on the TV at the bar, like they're best friends with the guy. Like, he's God to the Bills fans. And again, I do like Josh Allen. I am not bashing Josh Allen. I do like him, but his turnovers are a problem, and they have
lead the way since 18.
Yes, they've been being covered up by the team. Oh, they're still winning. It doesn't matter. He makes all these great plays. Sure, I'm not saying he doesn't. Kind of like him, but his turnovers are a problem. Yes. And they're still one dimensional. And that's one of the reasons I said it last year. Like, if you're trying to beat the Bills, just stop the pass. They don't run the ball.
That's it.
I mean, their defense is taking some hits. However, going back to the pick, I like Buffalo at home. I think this is going to spark a little bit of something in them with Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen and the team to kind of regroup. And they're home. If they were at MetLife, I would probably pick the Jets, but they're there. So I expect the Bills to win this one. I'm going to go 31-12.
We got an imposter.
We do indeed.
Richie got a brother, a twin. Damn.
You know why I came in here?
To Richie's one cup.
That way I can mess with these banners from here.
Oh, I was going to say, damn. Because the funny thing is, both pictures were doing two different things. I'm like, well, damn.
It was like one of those two Richie's one cup, man.
Right.
Gonna get all nasty in here.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, Shed, about Josh Allen. I mean,
I like the guy.
I like him.
Oh no, great person, great human being. I'm with you both on that. I'm the only thing I'm not going to put him and Daniel Jones on the same thing for one simple reason. I get your point about having more talent and all that, and I do agree with you about the Dable factor. Even this morning, I brought it up, but I do believe that Josh Allen still has the ability to make those around him better. Where I don't share that same sentiment for Daniel Jones.
However, we don't know what Daniel Jones can do if he don't have that talent around him. Remember, look what he has around him. So it's easy to say the talent looks better because he had the coach, experienced coach, receiver. He got all of that around him. So it's easy to say, like it's like with LeBron. They say LeBron made his teammates better. However, look at the teammates he had around him that made them look better. Then now compare that to Daniel Jones. Imagine if he was in Buffalo. We've seen what Daniel Jones can do healthy with a good coach. We've seen it last year. He don't make those super mistakes. If you look at their stats going back to when he came into the league, everyone says that Josh Allen, when he came to the league, he jumped right into Buffalo and did his thing. No, he didn't. Daniel Jones had a better season than Josh Allen with far less talent around him. His second year, he had better stuff than Josh Allen with far less talent. Now, switch teams. If you put Josh Allen with the Giants, he get destroyed. If you put Daniel Jones up there with that talent, someone he could actually throw the ball to in Jefferson, in Diggs, and all that stuff, he'd do better because we've seen it last year. What happens when you put something around him with a coach who has some confidence? I don't know what the hell happened this year.
Now, there's the thing, though. If Dable's with Allen in New Jersey, I think Allen will be just fine. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but who's the coordinator he had?
No, I get it.
The same man he fired, Ken Dorsey.
And I mentioned it on this morning's show. I think Dorsey might be headed to East Rutherford.
I think he will be too.
They have basically taken everything other than the VCR from Buffalo, so why not?
Last thing on Dorsey, I want to add. People say why pick him? Blah 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 blah. People forget Ken Dorsey was a quarterback coach when Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl.
Yes,
he had
was.
Cam Newton for 4 years.
Yes, he was. That's a good point, Idris.
Yeah, and he had Allen for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's not that bad.
It's funny how things are cyclical because even like Tyrod's the Giants' backup. He was the starter before Allen got there. Very cyclical how a lot of these things work out with relationships within the NFL. We're going to move it along to Duval. Jacksonville Jaguars. All 3 losses happening in Duval. They are at home yet again, coming off a beating for the ages at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers, Shed's boys. Do I think that makes Jacksonville imposters? Not necessarily. I just think it goes to show you how friggin' good the 49ers are when they apply themselves. As the Titans go, in order to win this game, which it is a very winnable game, Derrick Henry has to really go off and get going to make life a little easier for Will Levis and to open up the play action pass and just to get D-Hop going. D-Hop needs to be unraveled in this game if the Titans are going to pull the upset. They're not going to pull the upset, though. I've got the Jaguars winning this thing 24-17. It will be close, but I think Trevor Lawrence bounces back after a game to forget.
I agree. Shed?
Nope. I'll take No.
I'll say go ahead. It's on you.
Oh, sorry. No, the Jags are going to win, but I don't think it's going to be close. I'm thinking like 31-10. I mean, Tennessee hasn't done anything, and poor Will Levis.
Pretty much
trying to throw the ball. I mean, because everybody's still. How do you beat Tennessee? Just stop the run. That's all they're doing.
Stop the run.
In the box, Will Levis has no time to throw the ball. When he does pass, I like Jacksonville just to run away, to be honest.
All right.
I can see that.
We're all in agreement that that's how it's playing out.
Yeah.
How's that echo, Shed? Wanted to ask you. I killed the other mic on the logo pick. Is echo a little better?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for letting me know. We've got the Chargers heading to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Why is this even a game we're talking about? To be honest, it's because the Chargers, in my estimation, while still very much so being pretenders, do have a chance to jump into back into the wild card situation. Packers are essentially playing spoilers here. Packers will not be climbing back into things.
Yeah.
I think similar to what Green Bay experienced last week, this too will be close, but I like the team with a little more offensive juice. I think Quentin Johnston might actually have a bust-out game here, but I think the Packers keep it close. I'm going Chargers 27, Packers 19.
Yeah, I'm saying something similar. I'm gonna go 30-19. I just think Green Bay just doesn't have enough. Jordan Love is just not. It's like he didn't progress, man. It's like if you look at Favre, he came in there, he sat on the bench for a year or two, came in there, won him a Super Bowl, got him to his second one. You see, Aaron Rodgers sat behind Favre, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. Came in there, balled out. He sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, and he just looks like they just drafted him. It's like he's not getting it or something. I don't know. With the Chargers, and I know Zach's gonna be a little upset when I say this. Justin Herbert. Let me get closer. Justin Herbert, who I said he was.
Yeah, it's hard. It's been hard to defend him.
I've been saying it since he walked in the league. I say he's going to be a very good quarterback, but he's not going to be a great one. It's going to take him a lot of years because in Oregon quarterbacks, Dennis Dixon, Marcus Mariota, when they come to the pros, it's a whole different game because they never played under center in college. When you come to the pros, it's a whole different game. He's going to keep struggling.
I wanted to ask you guys this.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all in agreement that Staley's out, especially if they miss the playoffs. Or even
Harbaugh's coming in.
You think it's going to be Harbaugh, huh?
Nah, I'm joking, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, Bill Belichick's going to be looking for a new employer, and I suggested on this morning's show that maybe Belichick goes to Buffalo if New England doesn't give him a world of shit of getting out over there because of his age, because of the time because McDermott, I have a hard time believing is safe right now.
No, he's on the hot seat for sure.
Yeah,
some of those decisions last night. I mean, it could very well go down to coaching, like bad coaching. Honestly,
yeah. I watched the game with Brett, and I was like, "What's going on?" And listen, Dorsey, in my opinion, is a pretty good coordinator. I think he was the fall guy, and I understand it because when your seat is starting to get hot, you're gonna try to survive. So you're gonna start pointing at coordinators first. We saw it happen in 2000 before the Giants got hot when Jim Fossil was making Peyton the fall guy.
Yep.
Come to find out, Fossil was part of the problem too. It happens. When you're the head man, you look to blame somebody below you to kind of extend the heat, sway the heat. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They should have fired the special team coach, though.
It's a common practice in the NFL. I mean, they might have their man that they want there already. It could be Kellen Moore. I said going into this year, if Dallas didn't do their thing, that maybe Dan Quinn takes over for Mike McCarthy. There's a lot of possibilities. I think McCarthy returns.
I think Moore would be the coach.
It could be.
I think it'd be Moore.
It could be. As far as the opposition goes, I know that Idris on a previous show has alluded to the fact that maybe Jordan Love might be on the way out, and maybe Green Bay looks to another source at quarterback. I don't agree with Idris on that one. I think
no,
Justin Fields might be the guy.
No, Justin Fields. I said he was.
Oh, that was Justin Fields.
I think Justin Fields done in Chicago. But to go back to the game, Green Bay, they're very young. That's why I'm going to give them a pass. And as far as how destructive their season is, seems to
similar to Rodgers' first year.
Yeah, they're just very young. I mean, honestly, none of those guys have played more than a couple of years. I mean, obviously within reason on that.
That's
offense.
valid. That's a valid point.
And they have not had a lot of time together for one. And just got to, give him a little bit of time. I don't think anybody's in the hot seat, including Matt LaFleur, to be honest with you. You got to give him a little bit of time. Yeah. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Brett Favre. But to answer the question of who's going to win the game, I got Los Angeles Chargers.
Got San Francisco in your mind.
Los Angeles Chargers winning this one 31-15.
All right. So we're all in agreement here that the Chargers are going to take this win in Lambeau?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. We got the 49ers heading to Tampa Bay.
See?
I didn't know it was next.
49ers have awoken from their midseason slump, as I already alluded to, with the big win over Jacksonville. The Bucs are looking to keep pace in a very winnable NFC South. I'm going to give you my opinion at the end. We're going to let our resident 49er fan start this up.
Sure. The 49ers are going to win this game. They're just, I mean, let's put it this way. The last time the 49ers played Baker Mayfield when he was on Cleveland, they played at Cleveland, and Nick Bosa did the little spike because Baker Mayfield did that to him at Oklahoma.
Looked like
That was
something
sweet,
out of
though.
that shit looked like something out of the 300 movie.
Right, so I'm saying, dude, if you don't think Chase Young and Nick Bosa are coming for Baker Mayfield, you are mistaken.
I'm with you on this. I think it's going to be a long day for Baker.
The 49ers are just a more talented team, to be fair. I mean, they're more talented than the teams they've lost to, too, but they just didn't show up. I mean, it is what it is. And you know, again, they lost. I'm not – it is what it is. That's why they play the games. Mm-hmm. But they're a good team. I got them winning 31-10.
I'm not far off that. I'm going 34-17 in favor of the Niners. And I do want to say this. This could be the kind of ball game where it's maybe tied at the half, and it might look something similar to your first-round game last year against Seattle. But I could see a situation in the second half where the 49ers literally shut their asses out.
Yeah.
I'm going 35-14 Frisco. I think Chase and Bosa, they're going to just – it's going to be ugly, man.
Yeah, they're coming.
They might swing together. You know, you never know. They might
swing Baker.
Yeah, they're going to swing. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah,
a la Myles Garrett against Mason Rudolph. You know, it could be something bad like that. You know, it could be a little brutal. Here's the thing, okay? The 49ers were my NFC champion pick going into the season. I'm still standing by it, despite their bit of a slump, finally getting over it. You know, they didn't win a game in a month. That's partly circumstantial because they did have the bye, and then they whipped some ass. I think when the 49ers are clicking on all cylinders, they are literally the most talented team in professional football, the most balanced team. And if you're going to have a slump, you'd rather have it when they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the 49ers are a fun team to watch. You know, like you said, once they're clicking on all cylinders, I don't think there's a team that can beat them. I
tend to agree with you, actually.
But that's the thing. Like, so as soon as Trent Williams and Debo came back, that offense started clicking again. Yes. I mean, you guys see what on Debo's run, Trent Williams was going down the block in the corner, just ran out of the way. He didn't want to get hit.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
He makes such a difference on the field, just an intimidation factor. Yeah. And Debo's like the set toner. Like, it makes it. Everybody gets injured. I understand, but I'm telling you, it just makes a difference, right? And Chase Young helps. And if you guys notice, the defense. I mean, I could talk for hours on this, but like how the defense changed up their entire scheme last game. Wilkes came out of the field, which whatever, but he started to rush 5 and had just Greenlaw and Warner in the secondary.
Great Greenlaw might be the most underrated defender in the league.
But he started to switch up. He would do all he was doing all season, and he was getting away with it for a while. Was rushing forward and playing zone and dropping back. Because they could still get the quarterback, but as soon as people started picking up on that, they started picking him apart too. So he didn't change his scheme up way before he ended up doing it, and he did it against Jacksonville and just kind of did their thing. You know what I mean?
See, with Warren is so fast, man. I mean, he can cover the field sideline to sideline. So I mean,
Fred Warner
can sit him back there. Yeah. You can sit him back there. And be
he's arguably the best linebacker in the league.
Yeah, boy, he's
That's a fair. That's a fair.
Got good
assessment.
hands too. Good hands.
And I'm not even going to look at Shed and be like, you're being a homer because I think it's fair. I think it's fair. I think Warner, if he's not the best, he's definitely in the top 2 or 3. So in Chad's eyes, if he feels he's the best, I don't have a problem with that. I really
don't have a
don't.
problem with it.
I said arguably. I mean, you could argue a couple other guys in there, I'm sure.
I
But
would go
but
with
he
him
is-
because
he
he
is
has speed and he has hands.
He has a
And
brain.
he
he's
could
got
knock
three.
the shot.
He's got 3 picks this year. I
He
mean,
has a very
Greenlaw
high-
is underrated too.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, they're probably the best. If you're talking balance or whatever, they're probably the best team because they're even right across the board, man.
The reason why I think this could really be the Niners' year,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to other Niner teams that got close but didn't quite get it done,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of simple, dude. Those other teams didn't have Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
And last year, if Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt as early as he did, maybe they win, maybe they don't, but we don't know because it didn't happen.
Yeah,
and they're not Hollywood either.
No.
That last Super Bowl
they're pretty
team,
humble.
yeah, the last Super Bowl team, they were Hollywood.
The only guy on that team
Dion, they had Jerry
that
Rice,
gets under my skin,
Yeah.
Harris
but
Haley.
it's
No, I mean the ones that lost, the one that lost against KC a few years ago. They
Oh,
were
with Jimmy
just
G
two-
and
the Jimmy G
Yeah.
squad.
well,
yeah.
Sherman kind of brought that in.
yeah, that,
Exactly.
But outside of Trent Williams, who I respect as a player, don't necessarily like him as a person, respect him as a player, I like that team. And, while I do believe that Brandon Ayuk is their best receiver, Debo's absence shows. Because
Yeah.
Debo
100% does.
being in there, and yes, he is their second best receiver and probably third best receiving option outside of George Kittle. Man, maybe fourth, because you also have Christian McCaffrey.
Good H back.
The everything back, But my bottom line here with the 49ers is I picked them going in as the NFC candidate.
Mhm.
I did pick the Jets. That was
I did
also
too.
under the assumption that Aaron Rodgers is going to be healthy.
I did.
If somehow Aaron Rodgers gets back to the Jets before it's too late, I do think that they are the kind of team that could make a run for a couple of reasons. One is that if you look at it from a personnel-based standpoint, I actually think that the Jets match up well with the Kansas Cities, with the Miamis, with the Cincinnatis.
Mhm.
Basically, with anybody that's contending in the AFC, that Jet defense is for real. If Rodgers
something,
gets
Richie?
back there in time, they're going to be all right.
yeah, they're Jets
You know,
team's legit.
You know something, Richie? And the Jets have been in a lot of games that they could have won.
That's got to be the frustration
if
for
they
them.
had a quarterback. These guys might be, 6-2?
I mean, dude, I'll be the first one to
there.
tell you that in my 30-plus years of being a Giants fan,
Mhm.
this is unequivocally the worst Giants offense I've ever witnessed. And I'll tell you what, despite that, were it not for 2 fucking yards, the Giants have 4 wins as opposed to 2. But knowing where we could land in this draft, I don't want those 2 wins. Let it be what it is.
The only other season I see worse than this was the first season I started watching Giants football when I became a fan. 1974, we went 2-12. I was
Golly.
10 years old, but I remember crying because I was watching the game and I said, "This is my team. This is my team." And I was like, "Wow, we can't win a game."
In 96, Dave Brown was pretty painful, but this is worse.
And one more thing on the 49ers before we get off the subject. The reason why that they may not go as far as we all hope they are, or hope they can, is their offensive line. They are in the bottom third of the league in pass block win rate.
That is a good point.
But, they're still winning. And, that's why Kyle's drawing up schemes to get the ball out quick and do these little trick plays and stuff like that to not put so much pressure on Brock, because people know that too, because they get pushed around besides Trent. Obviously, no one pushes Trent.
Yeah, nobody's
Trent,
pushing that
no,
man
no
around.
one's
But you know something, Shed,
Everybody else is.
to your point,
Mhm.
the way that Shanahan makes that work is that you try to pull the defensive aggressiveness against them, because defenses know that
That's what
you
he's been
can
doing.
get in quick. But yeah, he's a great play caller. I mean, you got to give him that. He's been a play caller everywhere he's ever coached.
Yep.
Sunday Night Football, we've got the Minnesota Vikings. There we go. Traveling to Denver to take on the 4-5 Denver Broncos. Broncos coming off a bit of an impressive win on the road against the Buffalo Bills. My question to both of you is, will the Josh Dobbs magic continue for the surprise Minnesota Vikings? Idris, you're up.
Yes. Denver did what they did, look good win, good win. But Josh Dobbs, man, the guy is smart. I mean, we already know how smart he really is.
Yeah, real life. No
He's
question.
a real rocket scientist,
Yeah, no question.
But the guy is smart. I mean, and I think he may not be there next year because Kirk Cousins will be back, but I believe he knows he'll get a chance to start because Kirk Cousins won't be back week 1. So he knows he's auditioning for someone's team, or at least for a good little contract to be a good backup.
It really depends on how far they go, because I'm not convinced that Minnesota is all in on wanting Kirk Cousins back.
Correct.
If he
I
takes his
agree with
team
that.
deep, if he takes his team deep, and the way they're playing with this guy, man, they're playing like hell yeah, we love this guy.
I'll tell you what, man, they are my dark
It makes things
horse.
happen.
They are my dark horse all the way out in the NFC, and I'll put it to you like this too: in the playoffs, I have more faith in the Minnesota Vikings, even if they don't win their division, than I do than the team that's going to win that division or possibly wins that division. Talking about the Detroit Lions, because Minnesota has a better defense than last year. They're playing better.
Yeah.
And I feel that with JJ in there, with Addison in there, with a guy like Dobbs who can extend plays, and even their running game, albeit it's not as good as a prime Dalvin Cook, they are starting to get it done. And when you look at the games they lost, close one to the Chargers, close one to the Eagles, close one to the Bucs. This is a team that has literally not been beaten badly this year.
Mm-hmm.
And, what did they start? 0-3?
Mm-hmm.
So, which means they are 6-1 since then. That is
imagine if they
impressive.
didn't blow those games early.
Or even if they split them.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, this is a team that I do believe has the wherewithal and the audacity to pull off a playoff upset. As the Broncos go, I will say this. I like that Russell Wilson is getting more comfortable, looking a little more like the player that he was in Seattle. I think it's a credit to the coaching staff. This is going to be a tough one. I can see this game going either way, and I'm actually going to take the home team here. I've got the Denver Broncos winning this thing in OT. I am going to go 30-24.
I'm going 30-24. Oh, my bad. 30-24 Minnesota. The way I look at Minnesota with Josh Dobbs is the most dangerous person is a person who has nothing to lose. So going forward, he knows if I lose, this is what they expect. But if I win, they're going to put me up here. I'm going to get a good contract. I might even take over the job. Who knows? But as for this game, I think Minnesota's rolling, man. I'm gonna go the same score, but in Minnesota's favor.
They win this game, I'm gonna really believe.
I believe. Yeah. Y'all forgive me. I got casual combo in my ear too.
You only got one game left, and it's the rematch. Go ahead, Chet.
Oh yeah, no. So the most fun thing to watch with Josh Dobbs, anytime he's got the ball in his hands, something's gonna happen.
Yes, he's an exciting player.
It's just fun. Like, is he gonna scramble? Is he gonna run? Is he gonna dick and dunk? Is he gonna do a throw? I mean, something cool is gonna happen when he's he makes something happen out of nothing all the time, and he's fun to watch.
I'm with you.
And to touch on Denver, I think Sean Payton did what he did, or did a really good job of getting that team to start to believe. He started to clean house a little bit, and people are starting to buy what he's selling.
He started holding people accountable, bro.
Yeah, and he got rid of a couple of guys. I know the Niners picked up Randy Gregory. I mean, just getting rid of people. Like, no, if you don't want to be here, you don't want to buy in the culture, see ya. And people are starting to buy that culture. And the Broncos turned around. I mean, they beat Kansas City. Mm-hmm. They went into Buffalo and beat Buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's part of the reason why I like them this week. And I also think Minnesota's due for a loss.
But my thing with this game is Minnesota, as we've already touched on, both you guys, is like they lost a bunch of close games at home. No one has blown them out, and they're also winning close games too. My point is they're scrappy. This game's going to be close, and I'll take the scrappy team every single time to pull that W. I'm going to go with 24-21 Minnesota.
All right. We have a Super Bowl rematch.
The referee bowl.
We've got
everyone. Okay.
We got the Philadelphia Eagles at 8-1, traveling. What's happening here?
To KC.
Yeah, Philadelphia's at KC on Monday night.
Yeah. Screw the banner.
It's there.
Sort of. All right, this is how I see this. If the Eagles can run the ball to the level that we have been accustomed to seeing them do, then the Eagles are probably going to win this game. Kansas City Chiefs, I've said it on many a show, are not the explosive offense that they were a couple of years ago. However, their defense is playing at an elite level.
Correct.
They're simplifying things, and you still have that security blanket known as Travis Kelce. Daniel Nunez, diehard Eagles fan, was on our show recently saying that his concern is that there's too much leakage in that secondary. If this game was in Philly, I might be more inclined to take the Eagles, but I am taking the Kansas City Chiefs because I really do believe that their defense is going to win a lot of the battles that Eagle offensive line is not used to losing. I've got the Chiefs winning this thing 27-24. It's going to be close, but I think the Chiefs win it, and I think the Chiefs win it late with a fourth quarter shutout of the Eagles offense.
Everything you said, 27-24, I think it's going to be their front line against the Eagles' front line. If Chris Jones and them stops that run, it's a wrap. That's all I have.
All right. Well, yeah, to Richie's point, I mean, DeAndre Swift's going to be the X factor for me in this game. If they can get him going, they're good. I mean, Jalen Hurts has already thrown more picks this year than he had all of last year. You know, who knows about that knee? I think Kansas City's defense is for real. Like, they're good. Like, they shut down Miami's offense. Like, they're very underrated. Everybody always focuses on Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in that offense. Everybody is forgetting about how good that defense has played.
Yeah.
And to Richie's point with Travis Kelce, he's you still got to stop him. And that secondary, no linebackers on the Philadelphia Eagles going to be able to cover Travis Kelce.
No.
So Mahomes is going to, just in my opinion, slice and dice him. And I'm sure Taylor Swift's going to be in the stand. So there's that.
Yeah, they win with Taylor Swift in the crowd.
So where I'm going with that, I'm going to go with 27-22 Kansas City.
And I'm going to call a hero in the game here. L'Jarius Sneed picks off Jalen Hurts late, and I think that turns the game around. Even though the Chiefs are not explosive, they still have a propensity for scoring points quick. Yeah. I got the Chiefs scoring twice late, and that's the difference in this game. I'm still sticking with what I said, a fourth quarter shutout of the Eagle offense. If you haven't already, please make it a point, like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Gentlemen, great job today, and it was awesome seeing you, Shed. Haven't seen you in a while on here just because
of a lot of face, man.
I just want to see your face, man. A lot of circumstantial stuff.
We might lose you this weekend.
You can catch more of Idris in a few minutes over on the Casual Convo Show with the beautiful Miss Coco. You might even see my mug on there because I am on vacation and I'm in a very talkative mood tonight.
Join the show, Shed.
I wish I could, man. I got to work on stuff in the morning.
Work night for him. Go ahead, Idris.
Always.
Oh, no. I'll just say, great show. That's it.
No, this was fun. I enjoyed this. Until next time, for Mr. Shed, for my guy, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. the Cowboy Hater, I am your host, Richie, and it has been a pleasure bringing you the Week 11 NFL preview. Thanks for taking out a little bit of time tonight to hang with us. He loves that shirt. Until next time,
great shirt.
We are out.